The darkness growing on me on XFM 104.9. Oh, it's all going well already, isn't it? The microphones fell apart. Carl's shouting because he got headphones on.
His music's turned up too loud.
Canfield level. God, it got pre-out. Look at him giggling. Look at him laughing. That's so funny because I got a letter here from who was it from? Mike Heel, who sent me a little picture of a little Japanese fella from a film who said looks like me, and he does a little bit. But he says, please can you make Carl laugh? I've never heard him utter as much as a snigger, and I'm worried he may have a genetic disorder. Well, I mean, he has got a genetic disorder, obviously. But, he was giggling then. I hope, people heard you then. Look at his little face.
It was a joy.
Oh, I love the things that make him happy.
But I love the fact just before the microphone came up and just before the record finished, he had his headphones on, the music was too loud and he was just shouting, Bauhaus is not working! Bauhaus is not working! I have to play something else!
I went and found Ziggy Stardust by Bauhaus and he said, why isn't it working? Look at him giggling! Look, he's lost it! Is he going away? Are you on drugs, Carl? What have you done? He's tickled. Look at his little... He looks like one of those shaved monkeys. Look at his little... Oh my God, I've never seen a forehead glow.
I know, it's extraordinary.
Oh.
And he's got that red shirt on as well, so the whole of him is just a big glowing...
Carl, what are you trying? What are you putting in?
I'm gonna see if I can get this to work.
Go on then.
Hang on.
Brilliant radio. Dr. I hope Dr. Fox is listening, because I think he's eating his words right now, Steve.
Right, I think I've done it. Right.
Well done. That's excellent.
Right, what
Let's play Bauhaus now, and let's try and compose ourselves. This is Ziggy Stardust by Bauhaus. Well, it worked. That worked, didn't it? See, panic over. Calm now. You're on holiday soon, aren't you?
Yeah.
You got to go off early.
Well, about
How many holidays have you had? Because I only ever have time off when I'm working, like doing another job, like, you know, filming or something. But you seem to have a lot of holidays, just like, and you were sick as well. You were just like, because you had wet trousers, which is a little bit... Do you not care about the job? I mean, I've got to ask, because, you know what I mean, if I was in charge, I'd worry about your motivation or... Because yesterday we were trying to work out what you enjoyed doing, and we got to Manchester United and moaning, and that is the two we came up with.
I don't know where you get the moaning thing
You're
from.
always whinging.
About what?
Everything.
When did I last have a moan?
Just before we came on air.
Right, and why was that?
I don't know, I can't remember. Because we were in good mood. We were in a good mood, me and Rick.
I'll tell you why.
Go on.
Because you brought a song in at 10 to 1.
Yeah.
With a load of effing and jeffing in it.
Yeah.
And saying, can you edit this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's your job.
You could have brought it in yesterday.
No, I couldn't.
Why not?
I hadn't thought of it. But why are you whinging? That's your job. And I didn't come in 10 minutes before. It was a good 20 minutes before. It just took you ages because you were whinging and moaning to even get started.
I'm not being dragged into this.
You are always...
I'm on my holiday now.
Well, not yet. No, you're not on yet. You're still working.
Well, that's what's funny. This isn't even work, right? And yet it should be. Compared to what I do in the week, this is a doddle.
Well, it's because you're not putting any effort in, clearly. Where are you going anyway? Where are you heading?
Cornwall.
Yeah? What's happening down there?
Well, there's a monkey world.
You're excited about that?
We'll go and see that. Probably go twice to that.
Yeah.
Whilst I'm down there.
How long are you in for? The whole week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
this is with your parents, isn't it?
Yeah. Taking them out.
Your father, what do you think your father will be up to? What's he going to be nicking on this holiday?
Well,
Tin. There's a lot of tin in Cornwall. Since they've shut the mines.
He's just called Suzanne, said they've got there, said it's a nice little place.
Mm-hmm. There'll be no towels when you get there.
So what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Just gonna chill out and sort of like go to the pub and stuff?
Yeah, like I say, I mean, all I've got planned is probably probably Tuesday and Thursday at Monkey World.
What about Wednesday? What do you think of the Wednesday? Just wandering around?
Just sort of think about, you know...
King Arthur and that. Where he was down there, wasn't he?
I don't know, but I'll tell
Where
you
you going?
something.
What town?
I don't know where it is. Suzanne sorted it out.
Yeah, she sorted it out. I had you on the phone to her saying, well, pack 2 pairs. Poor woman, she's packing your bags for you.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
you'd spend more time at home if Steve didn't come in at 10-2 with a rap record with, like, obscenities all over it.
Yeah, well, we'll play that next week.
Well, you didn't even get the job done, that's the thing. We can't even play it because you didn't get finishing time.
I'll tell you what, that Method Man, if he doesn't stop effing and jeffing, it's the end of his career. In my opinion. All this F that and yo Jeff, I'm a Jeff myself. Yeah. Or I'm hanging out with my Jeffs. Yeah. It's terrible.
Jeff you.
And we know you can't put out the J word on XFM.
Oh, Mother Jeffer.
Well, so we haven't got that, but what we have got,
Go on.
Monkey News.
We've still got a monkey news, have we?
That's sorted out. That's coming up.
Yeah.
Rockbusters.
Yeah. Well, last chance. Definitely your last chance this time. You actually improved a little bit last week. You did a couple of good ones.
Yeah. Same again this week. And
Cheeky Freak?
The controversial cheeky freak of the week, where Carl finds a human being with some sort of congenital or imposed deformity, or So and we talk about that in a wry way. Do you think that's big and clever?
no, but that's just it. It's never about taking the mickey out of someone, right? It's to make you think.
I'll tell you what isn't big and clever.
How lucky you are
A
on
dwarf with learning difficulties.
Nice.
Yeah. Well,
We'll explain it to you. That's the forthcoming single from British Sea Power. That's called Carrion.
That's nice and retro. That's
Yeah.
like end of the 70s Bowie. That's
That's good.
great. On XFM 104.9. That's just some of the records.
That we've played so far.
Do you know what I mean? You've had The Darkness, you've had Bauhaus. It's like, can it get any better, Carl, do you think?
like I say, we've got Monkey News coming up. So,
Guess what? I lost 400 quid cash this week.
Gambling?
No, that's tragic. This is why it gutted me.
It wasn't even on your gambling addiction.
No, I had a photo shoot, I had a suit, right, and I'd claimed back some expenses, and I had it in my pocket, and then when I took the suit home, it must have fallen out in the street or the cab, and I remembered it, and I went every pocket twice, and it was just the fact, I don't think about, oh god, that's terrible, that's a terrible blow, I think, oh god, if I had it back now, it would be free money.
Yeah.
If I suddenly found it now, I'd have £400 that was just free money, and I had a little nap to get over it, and I was,
And you were fine.
I was okay. But that's got someone
£400
just found what a gift that is.
Oh.
Just, I mean, untraceable.
Was it in a
is-
money clip? Was it rolled up in a money clip?
No, it was just literally 400 quid in an envelope. And
that's
so
a
that,
treat.
I know. See, I'd always hand it in. I genuinely would, unless I found it in the middle of a forest or something. If it was in the street. Do you know what I mean? No,
Because a bear dropped it.
yeah. But I mean, if I found it in a pub or a cab, I just hand
or
it
an
to
escape
anyone
that
who
you're
was in.
rummaging through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I'd hand it in.
Well,
But there's no way. If they found it in the street, there's no way they could do it. It goes to the police station and it sits there for 6 months. But
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's not, it's a waste of time, pocket it. But, because when I was younger, I remember being outside a post office once when I was about 10 or 12, and finding a purse, and thinking, oh, that's nice. And opening it up, there was some money in there, and a pension book, and so it was obviously an old lady. I found an address, I sent it to her, and my mum said, you've been so good there, you'll probably get a little reward. She'll probably send you a little reward. Nothing! I got maybe a thank you note, but no cash, no moolah, nothing.
Really?
And I was livid, because I'd been told that I was going to get a reward. I thought I've been a good Samaritan, nothing. So, many moons later, when I was at university, I learnt from that, and this is the most bizarre thing. It
this
was like,
explains a lot, doesn't it, Carl?
this is like the Mary Celeste. I went to a cash point to I thought, I can't get my card in here. And I realised there was already somebody's card in the machine. They'd put the code in, but then they just disappeared. They'd been kidnapped or something. So it was just there, waiting, sitting. Said, what do you want to do? And it gave you a number of options. I thought, interesting.
Steal or go to heaven?
Yeah, exactly.
He went, oh dear.
Yeah. Well, I pressed balance, just to check what their bank balance was.
Unbelievable.
It was a considerable sum of money. I'm not going to lie to you. It was not typical student debt. It was like, I think they were a foreign student. There was a lot of cash in there. A lot of money.
Did you feel a slight bulge in your trousers when you saw the amount of money?
I couldn't believe my luck. I thought to myself, now then, I could just take that card out and hand it in, or I could teach them a small lesson
Right.
and maybe give myself a reward, because last time I did that, I didn't get a reward. So if I give myself £30, then I'll take the card out.
30?
Give myself 30.
You didn't really?
Well, I thought that's a good reward, and I went in, I handed the card in, I took that,
Steve,
and that's a little reward for me. And I'll tell you this, don't think it's evil, because I went in and I bought everyone a drink.
Well, brilliant.
Yeah, I didn't tell them I got the money free.
Well done. Excellent. So probably gangsters are quite generous with the money they've stolen from other people.
Yes, but someone's negligence, Rick, has lent. The thing is this, right?
Steve, I believe it, except that buying people a drink, Carl. What do you think?
well, I kind of thought that when he said it, but then I thought, but they'll be buying him back.
So he's still
for that, so in a way, he's still a winner.
Yeah. Everyone's a winner. in that situation, including the student, because frankly, if there had been a less scrupulous person who found it, they'd have probably helped themselves to a considerable sum.
I cannot believe he did that.
There was thousands and thousands of pounds in there.
What if it was, what if Beadle had jumped out and slapped you with his little claw and said, we've been filming this, merchant?
Well, so what?
How old were you then?
I don't know, 19, 20?
Would you do it again, or was it just to get the world back for the old lady's purse?
Possibly do it again, yeah.
You're joking!
Well, you've got to think of it this way. You've got to think of it as there was a lot of money in there, and someone less scrupulous than me would have taken a fortune. They'd have cleaned them out. Whereas I just took a small reward, which I thought was more than enough for someone's negligence. And I've returned the card, they've got the card back, everything's fine. Think of someone else, I could have gone on a spending spree, I could have been buying stuff, all sorts.
Yeah, but it wasn't yours at all.
Yes, but they probably would have given me a reward, and because, you know, sometimes people forget, or, you know, they don't give you a reward, I thought I should
You had
take
to
it
go at
myself.
your dad for nicking a loaf of bread out of a phone box.
Yeah, but that's because it's for old people, geriatrics and stuff.
How do you know how old was your people who you were robbing from?
It's it was on a student campus.
Wow.
I think it was I thought it was excellent behaviour. I thought it was
that's
good, honourable
incredible.
behaviour.
That's showing another side to him, isn't it?
Now, Carl, I know you're fascinated by the concept of the doppelganger, of seeing someone who looks exactly like you. Yeah. Jake has emailed in, he says, Carl, if you could spend a day with an exact replica of you, okay, so somehow they've cloned you, Carl, and you've got him for one day, what would you do with this? What would you make him do? What conversation would you have with him? What would you do? Is there anything you could, you know, how would you utilise him for one day?
Well, they'd both say, I'm not bothered, and that'd be the end of conversation.
Yeah.
What would do me head in is, does he think the same way, look the same way,
exactly the same?
Yeah.
How would I know which one I was?
Because you'd be you.
That's amazing.
No,
How would I know which one I was?
Incredible.
No, because
that is the most stupid thing ever said by a human being. Can we get the Guinness Book of Records on this? Has anyone anywhere in the world said anything more stupid than how would I know which one was me?
But think about it, this other person's going, alright, thanks for meeting up and that. And I go, hang on a minute. No, you came to me. And then Suzanne would come home and she wouldn't know the difference. And then suddenly you'd start doubting yourself. And you go, should I be leaving? Or, so how do I know if I am that real one, if he knows what I know?
But you know who you are because you're experiencing
But he'd
it.
be saying that because he'd say, yeah, it is a bit weird.
But you know the truth, you idiot.
How would I know which one I was?
So anyway,
But bear in mind,
What would you do?
You could pass him off as yourself.
What would you do? Would you play tricks? Would you, you know...
You could be in two places at once.
Would you do stings? Would you do scams?
no, because it would only end up getting me into trouble, won't it? Because people won't believe that there's another one like me. Otherwise, everyone would be saying that when they get caught robbing. They go, oh, it wasn't me, it was my doppelganger. It can only... I wouldn't want it, to be honest. It's again, it's a bit of a headache, isn't it? Because he could be going off, going mental, causing all sorts of trouble, and you're going, will you pack it in? And he's going, what? What are you on about? But then that wouldn't happen, would it? Because he's being me, so he'd be sat wherever I am anyway. Because he'd want to do what I want to do. So, pointless. But I still wouldn't want it.
It's unbelievable.
That was a conversation with himself.
That was amazing.
That was like experiencing what it would have been like if there was two Carls.
Yeah,
he's having a discussion with himself.
We could have left in that time and come back, and he'd be arguing still.
What does this mean? Does this mean... Does this mean, though, that I could just sit at home and not do anything and just send me out on...
Yes.
And when he's seen something happen, I'm seeing it.
No.
You're separate people.
You're separate people.
But then he's not a doppelganger then,
Well,
is he?
you're identical twins then. You found out identical twins and he's got exactly the same input as you. I mean, it's not a real question, is it? It's just a little... Again...
But I said to you the other week about twins and that, how I wouldn't like to have a twin. It's alright when you're a kid, but unless you're a Siamese twin, even they don't even look alike, do they? They're just stuck together. You don't go, oh, don't they look like each other? They have different haircuts. They don't carry that thing on, do they? That normal twins do. Like normal twins, the mums say have the same haircut, wear the same shirt. Siamese twins never look the same. They've just got their arse stuck together.
Again, it's a dialogue in his own head. It's unbelievable. Okay, Carl. This is a logical conundrum. To a certain extent, there's a little bit of lateral thinking because, but there is only one right answer. Now, the pressure here isn't to get this right. The pressure is when I've told you the answer to then understand it. Because when I've explained this to people, I've laid out for them, they still can't quite get the concept. Okay, so there's 2 doors, Carl.
Yeah.
One leads to heaven, one leads to hell.
Yeah.
Okay, they're identical, you can't tell them apart. Okay, 50-50.
Right.
Obviously you want to go to heaven, I assume. Right, there's 2 guards, identical guards, guarding each door. Okay?
Right.
The one guarding hell always tells a lie. The one guarding heaven always tells the truth. You have to ask one question to find out which is which, and then go through the door you want. What question do you ask?
I've only got one.
Yeah.
And what? One to both?
No, one to either of them. You don't know which one's which, though. So what question do you ask?
Why can't I ask, like, both of them one?
Because it's
Because
not
the rules are you can only ask one. There aren't actually 2 doors labelled heaven and hell, Carl. This is a leap of imagination here.
And I've definitely got to answer. I've got to ask them a question. I can't just sort of have a feel of the door to see if there's any heat or anything.
They're identical. You stand a few yards away. You cannot tell from the outside of these doors which is which. What question do you ask?
I can't look through the keyhole or anything.
There's no
Can't get anywhere
keyhole.
near them. Let's imagine there's a small rope that prevents you from getting anywhere near, rather like outside a nightclub.
Yeah.
So they stood there.
Yeah.
They both look the same. They're both smiling,
Yeah.
but one of them's not really smiling. Really, he's trying to make me make a mistake, isn't he?
Well, he's just going to lie when you ask him a question. If you ask him.
So what's the point in asking a question? Do I know one of them's going to lie?
Yeah.
But would they be neighbours like this? Would they be that close? Why?
I mean, we're not sure if these 2 guys get on.
It's illogical. Well, I'll tell you the answer.
No, I want to see if he can get it. He's almost there. No, he's not almost there. What am I thinking?
So-
No, hang on. Right, so you go up and you
Yeah.
go. You
Right,
go.
hang on. Well, look, let's imagine that. Let's imagine Ricky and I are those 2 guys. Okay, right?
But we have to. Well, me and Steve will decide which doors we're guarding. Okay.
Right.
I'm.
Look away, Carl.
Okay.
Right,
then.
so we've decided. Okay, one of us is guarding hell and one of us is guarding heaven. Which question are you going to ask and who are you going to ask it to?
Right. I'll just say to you, Steve. I'll go. Got some post for God here.
That's not a question. That's a statement.
Right, you've got some posts for God here.
No, that's not a question.
Yeah, but maybe the
Alright.
question's coming. You got some posts for God here, yeah.
And it needs to be signed.
It's not a question. Still not a question.
No, let
So
him finish. maybe
is
it's a question.
God in? Because I need him to sign to this post. Is he in?
Well, I can answer that as well if you want.
Go on.
He's in. He's behind my door. Do you want to answer it?
Well,
Yes,
Do you,
he's
want,
in.
do you want to get him? Just.
Well, no, you've only got one question.
So you're asking Steve, is God in? What's the answer?
Yes.
Ask me. Yes.
Look, lads, I'm just trying to do a job here. What am I going to do with this?
Well, give it to me and I'll give it to God because he's behind my door. Steve?
Yeah, give it to me and I'll take it into God because he's behind my door.
You're an idiot. Let me tell you the answer. I'm guarding hell, by the way. I'm the devil. Steve's God, okay? So you asked me what Steve would say if you asked him what door he was guarding, and I'm going to lie. I know he'd say heaven because he'd tell the truth, but I'm lying, so he'd say hell. So the question is, if I was to ask the other one what door he was guarding, what would he say? And whatever the person answers is the door they're guarding.
Steve, what door are you looking after?
Well,
Heaven.
yeah.
Why should I believe you?
Because you don't know. No, that doesn't work. Because you asked me the same, and I'd say heaven as well.
Right, so who do I believe? This is where you use your gut feeling, though, isn't it? This is what life's...
Well, as opposed to the pure logic that Ricky's just used.
I just think because there's a lot of questions in life where you don't know the answer and you go, do you know what? I don't like the look of him. So,
They're identical.
yeah, but they're still identical twins. You always get a little snidey one.
Oh, chimpanzee, that is raining down.
That's the jingle there for Carl's diary. Here we are. Spoke to Ricky and his friend Glyn about art. I just don't get it. Ricky had some odd pictures on his walls. I don't have any pictures up in my flat because of the mirrored wall. But I can't say I'm bothered. The mirrored wall, we should just explain what that is. When you moved into your flat, there was an enormous mirror on one wall. Was that right? We
just got this flat, and it's not a big flat, so I think the people who had it before us, he was a gay fella, right, which was a bit like, oh, so you've been doing with that mirror and that. But that was...
What?
No, just,
What has he been doing with the mirror?
Well,
What's he been doing? Why?
No, it's just because they're quite sort of experimental in it, aren't they? And
I don't know, what do you mean? What do they do?
Well, I wouldn't know anything about it, but go on.
No, what do you want? What?
No, I don't.
Experimental in what way?
What do you mean experimental?
I just mean, they'd be doing stuff.
What?
Whatever they do.
Chemistry, have a chemistry set out, they'd be doing experiments. What?
No, just doing what...
Singing I Am What I Am and just checking out their
each
the dance
their own.
moves.
I'm not having a go at anyone, but I'm just saying, like, they're doing what they're doing, which
Carl, you're
is
not
annoying as well.
homophobic, are you?
I'm not. This is why...
Why are you worried about what a little gay fella was doing in your flat before you got it in front of a mirror?
I wasn't worried about it.
Why are you thinking about what he was doing? Why are you fantasising what a little gay fella was doing in front of your mirror in your...
I'm not bothered. I'm just telling you why it was a bit odd that he had a mirror in there, right? But forget the history.
But you've got a mirror in there now, haven't you?
No, because what I did was... I was going to take it down, and I thought, oh, it's a bit dangerous. This, it could crack and...
Because it's the size of the whole wall, isn't it?
It took up a whole wall, right? So, like, when he's moving about everywhere, he's got a good view of it and that. But... he's got this full wall of mirror, and I thought, I can't take that down. And I thought, what can I do? So I've just put wallpaper on it.
Brilliant.
And it looks all right. You wouldn't know and what have you, but it means that I can't put any pictures up. That's all I'm saying. Because I've put a nail in it.
And what don't you understand about art? What about art don't you understand? The concept, specifics.
No, so, that's like when we were in London having a shop around at Christmas, and there was that picture of fruit for 700 quid. It's like, well, just get some fruit. You know what I mean? You can get some real fruit for 3 quid.
Yeah.
I understand that, but don't invent cameras then, one or the other. Do you know what I mean? That's what annoys me. Someone invents something, and then they go, we've got to invent something else.
So I wanted to ask you something. But again, we've got to be careful here. You know when you wouldn't leave the building that was on fire because you were standing proud.
Hang on, we need this. Some people now don't know what you're talking about. Carl, you were on holiday.
Yeah.
On holiday in Tenerife, right?
Yeah.
You'd had a moment of intimacy with your girlfriend.
Yeah. A knock on the door. You had to stop and get up. And you peeked around the door. It was a fireman saying, "Get out," but you didn't want to leave because you had a. Yeah. It was a little. Yeah. But what I don't understand is you maintained that while looking at a Spanish man dressed as a fireman.
Yeah.
Is that true? Is that the fact? You maintained, I'd say, you maintained arousal whilst looking at a gentleman dressed as a fireman. No, these are the facts, and they are undisputed. What, did you maintain...
I'm not a machine, though. Do you know what I mean? I can't turn it on, turn it off. Right?
But you were talking, I just thought, talking to a fireman, you'd have probably lost it. I don't know, but you didn't.
No, but the other thing was, I mean, I was talking to Suzanne about it again, right?
Yeah.
She said, what are you talking about that for? Right? I said, oh, it just cropped up, right?
Yeah.
And the dilemma was, you see, I wanted to try and make sure that it was a proper fire because that was the last condom we had, right? So it would have ruined the night. So I didn't want to, like, it was like, well, what's going on? Is it, do we need to get out?
Yeah.
Is it a proper fire?
Yeah. And you, and talking to this man in uniform, was he, what did he look like? Was he good looking?
Did he look like Ricky Martin, say?
Was he good looking? Was he good looking in his uniform?
I can't remember. Can't remember.
Did he have a moustache?
Better play a record, haven't we? Is this bringing it back?
What?
You look uncomfortable. What?
Did you just switch this on with your hand? Flaming Lips, and that's Fight Test.
Lips and test.
Lips Test.
On M.
We were talking there about homosexual people, and I'm sure we'll move on to other topics. But I just mentioned, I was talking to a friend of mine in the week, Rufus, and he overheard, he pieced together sometimes if you overhear a conversation, you can piece together what's going on.
Yeah.
And it sort of transpired from what you could make out, that one gay guy had just realised, or just found out, that his gay boyfriend had maybe been having an affair, and was on the phone, and had called this person, the third party.
The other one was crying, wasn't it?
The other one was crying in tears. Obviously, they just had a big argument about it. And all he heard on the phone was the guy saying, in very kind of earnest tones, "I'm gonna do everything in my power to destroy you." But I just like to think what that was. What was he, you know?
No more guest list to GAY.
GAY. I am going to, slash your diesel jeans with a pair of scissors.
Oh. What if they're listening now?
I know, I mean, it's probably an emotional time for them.
Yeah, but they probably don't think we're talking about them.
No, not those.
It's probably happened quite a lot this week.
Well, possibly.
I do know quite a lot of gay people, right? But they do jump about when it comes to partners.
Right. Carl.
No, Lee. Freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Let the man speak.
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean, it's quite, you know, they don't, you know, if they get bored, they move on that. Which is fair enough, but they do,
How do we piece this together?
And they go out late, don't they?
well, we've covered that, haven't we? We've done that.
Yeah.
How have you, so you...
Do you know how we covered that? His favourite record is Killing a Georgie. And he went, at the end of the record, he went, see, but how late was it?
Yeah.
If he'd have been sort of going out at a decent time, that wouldn't have happened. Or...
Do you know what I mean, Steve, though? They're always getting ready to go out about 1:30 in the morning. You're asking for trouble.
Yes. Incidentally, I should just point out that,
oh dear.
that, we've had an email, I've lost it here now, but anyway, it was one of our listeners saying that we've slightly embarrassed ourselves because, of course, Bruce Springsteen on the cover of Born in the USA doesn't actually have a handkerchief in his back pocket, it's actually a red baseball cap. So, so I don't know if that also counts, I don't know if it's any coloured object.
What does that mean, though?
Yeah, into heads. Into little round heads. Oh. If Bruce Springsteen, and he's obviously not gay, but if he said, alright Carl, just, you know, little cuddle, would you turn down Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah.
Well, no, but why? Just like, alright mate, you know, you hug your mates, don't you? If Bruce said, alright, Carl, I like your show, love your head, little cuddle, a mate's cuddle.
No, I just, I'd say what you're doing.
You just say, look,
We're a couple of old friends.
look, Bruce Springsteen, I've got those great songs, I like what you're doing, let's cuddle, let's have a little, alright
The
mate.
annoying thing is, right, Steve, right, do you know how he likes to squeeze me head? How
Yeah.
Ricky likes to squeeze me head?
Yeah.
He had an old mate over this week. He's got a similar shaped head, apparently, as mine.
Yeah.
Right? He's hardly gave me a call or anything, because he was busy with this other fella's head.
Oh, you feel quite bad about that.
Oh,
This is a better head to squeeze, I'll tell you why, because he shaves his every day, right? He's got the same sort of hair problem with him, shaves every day,
not
right?
a problem.
No, I know, and it's because he's had it several times, like, Carl's is sort of comes through a bit long at the side sometimes, it looks a bit unkempt towards the end of the week. I've seen there's a couple of little pimples under there. Right, I really have to do it, just like, get there, slap my hands on it, squeeze it. With this one, I can sort of get my finger, do you know what I mean? I get my, really, you know.
You're like a gay, the way you jump about from head to head.
That's my record, do you like a
saying.
gay?
Just saying. Right, still coming up then.
What have we got coming up?
We got Rockbusters.
Oh, has any monkey news this week?
It's been a problem.
Why?
It's not much has been going on this week.
What, in the monkey world?
In the monkey world. I don't know if they've caught on to the fact that they're getting coverage.
They're keeping their behaviour hush-hush.
Being a bit careful, but I found something.
Have you got Rockbusters? It's your last chance, don't forget. Is it good, these?
Got Rockbusters, got some good prizes. Steve will look at them in a bit.
Yeah.
Cheeky Freak of the Week.
Have you got a cheeky freak of the week?
Got that. Got
Yeah.
that.
So what deformity is it this week that you're ridiculing?
Well, keep listening.
Out of Time by Blur on XFM 104.9. Alright, Carl, what are you thinking?
Just thinking that stuff.
You're an enigma, aren't you?
I would just say hello to, we've got an American listener apparently, Karen. Anyway, well, that's a shot. I thought that might fill up 4 seconds.
We're not struggling, are we?
No,
I
no,
mean,
no, no.
we
Well, just consult the list of
Hold on,
Dr.
let me have a look.
Fox-esque amusing
Wife,
topics.
Wet Ones, Screwball, Shop Train, Cheeky Freak, Ronan. What's
What
that?
was Ronan?
Ronan. I just was telling you the other day about, you know, that song that he does. Loving every day as if it's your last one.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking he's saying that as if like, oh, I'll have a good day. But I reckon if you knew it was your last day, I don't think you'd be in the mood to do anything.
Yeah.
But what?
That's true.
But well, yeah.
I think the point is that it's living a day like it should last. So, God, imagine if it was every day like it lasts. Right, let's go mental. And the good thing is, we've got tomorrow. So he's got the best of both worlds. That's what Ronan's saying. He's saying cram it in, because it might be the last. I think it's more like, it's the not knowing, isn't it? Live every day. See, I'd actually be happy if I never knew when I was going to die, and I was definitely going to die in my sleep. What a brilliant life you'd have. Do you know what I mean?
What, so you don't get an illness, but one night you go to bed and...
I know that if you knew you were going to die in your sleep and never knew when you were going to die, it wouldn't matter if it was tomorrow or 30 years' time. It wouldn't matter, would it?
Yeah.
I've lost you, haven't I? I've lost you somewhere. I thought that was pretty easy, all that. I said die in your sleep and not know when you died. There was no high concept there. No sleight of hand linguistically. Where did I lose you?
I think you lost him on sleight of hand linguistically. Just then. You've lost him again.
Yeah, no, I think that's the way I'd want to go. I don't want to know about it. That's why I don't go to the doctors or anything.
That's a good,
brilliant
good approach.
And he do you know, remember him saying he's going to die of cancer because he doesn't check his balls. He doesn't like the feel.
Of course, of course.
What do they feel like, your balls?
Like a wet chamois leather.
With two marbles, two kumquats in a wet chamois leather.
No, but I just...
Why are they wet? Sweaty.
No, they're not. I'm just saying smooth.
Are they smooth?
Yeah, because a chamois leather's smoother when it's...
Do you shave them?
No, I don't.
In case a fireman pops round, you want to look your best. It looks like your head. You know, the fireman pops round, there you are, and he goes, oh, nice, smooth.
So you never go to the doctors? What even?
I don't like it.
But if you found some buboes under your arm or something,
I'd wait for a bit, and I'd say to Suzanne, what do you think of that?
just see if it develops into plague.
Well, yeah, because you know, don't you?
Old bandages round your head.
Yeah.
And a bell.
Yeah.
Suzanne, how can you get me a bell?
Exactly.
Brilliant.